Hello there. Welcome back to the Scevoli Expert Show, guys. This has been a busy week with interviews, and we finish with Piotr Michael, the voice of Master Yoda in Young Jedi Adventures. That is streaming now on Disney Plus. Piotr, how are you?
I'm fantastic. Thanks for having me, Chris. This is great to be here.
Oh, stop it.
Oh, come on. You're the legend. Everybody talks about Chris.
I hope so. I really hope so.
Mostly, your family members. But that's fine. That's, I don't know. They told me.
At least people care, At least people care.
No. I've seen your videos. You've got great stuff. So I'm honored to be here. And this is fun for me to talk about what I do. So thank you.
I'm honored that you're here. You're Master Yoda,
Master Yoda. Am I? I guess I am. Yes.
You are, yeah. So, Piotr, my first question, we're just going to get right into it. How did you get the role of Master Yoda in Young Jedi Adventures? Because when we watched the Clone Wars, or I think even Rebels, I think Tom Kane was the voice of Master Yoda. So now Tom Kane, I know he had issue. I think he had a stroke that he can't really talk that much, or not. He can't talk at all. But he did a phenomenal job in the Clone Wars. He's a legend in my eyes. But you're now the role of Master Yoda in the Young Jedi Adventures. How is that? How did that come about?
Well, it definitely has a connection to Tom, who I love and adore.
Yes.
Tom Kane and I actually share the same manager, and unfortunately he had some health issues, and I'm trying to recall what year it was, perhaps 2020, 2019 maybe, where I was basically asked to step in to do some things for Robot Chicken. Robot Chicken was looking for a Yoda, and there was a little segment where they had Yoda speaking normal, like Yoda goes to a speech therapist and learns to speak properly, so that I think he goes on some dates or something. And that was actually really hard, because it was the first time Yoda was talking, the first time I was doing it, but he wasn't talking like how Yoda speaks. So in my mind, it didn't count, and it was just a funny little thing. So I was like, I'm not really Yoda. I just did a funny voice on Robot Chicken. But our manager, Tom Kane's manager, reached out to me, and she said, listen, Tom is going through some things. They kind of need a temporary Yoda. Is it possible if you could send in an audition and see if you could just stand in for him while he's recovering? And I said, yeah, absolutely. I'd be honored, because sometimes we do that in this business, where we'll be a temporary voice for maybe a celebrity or somebody else who isn't available, or sometimes it's just you never know with the business. You can be replaced because of creative choices. And so I took it and was very honored, but I also knew, I was like, well, I'm not Yoda. This is a temporary thing. It's gonna go away, but it's an honor to do this. And so I did some Yoda scratch. I'm trying to think what it might have been. It might have been for Lego Star Wars related project, but there's so many projects, I can't quite remember which one was the initial one. But I did some temporary stuff. And then over time, sadly, the news about Tom Kane came to light, and we realized that he wasn't going to be able to sustain the character anymore. And, that was really hard to hear, because I'm a huge fan of Tom Kane. I've even been jokingly called Tom Kane Jr. Because basically they're like, hey, we need another version of Tom Kane. Tom's too busy. Let's hire Piotr Michael. And so I always picked up the scraps. But we had another audition process where Lucasfilm said, hey, okay, we used you for scratch, but now we've got to approve you across the board. We got to make sure that you can do this character for every gamut and that sort of thing. So that's when it got nerve-wracking for me, because I go, ooh, now it's really serious. It's not me being temporary. I'm not just putting on a fun costume and be like, I'm standing in, it's me, Yoda. Ooh. And then I run off the stage. It's like, no, I'm going to be carrying the torch, potentially. And, these opportunities don't come along that often. But when they do, your nerves that you get a little high strung because there's a lot of weight behind these characters, as
Especially
you.
Master Yoda. He's like,
Yeah.
he's a big deal, you
I
know?
mean, he's been the driving force for the old Jedi way for so many projects, and he really is a huge touchstone. And so I took it very seriously. I listened to a lot of the old original Star Wars trilogy Yoda from Empire and Return of the Jedi. I listened to Tom Kane doing things in the Clone Wars and those animated projects, and also listened, of course, to Frank Oz doing the prequels, which was an older Frank Oz, but also a younger Yoda, so to speak, and also kind of like a different perspective as far as his approach goes. And so when I did that, I auditioned. They said, fantastic. You're now Yoda for a new project called Young Jedi Adventures. And I was just floored. I was so excited. I'm like, oh my gosh, this is amazing. I get to be Yoda for this project. It still didn't set in with me that I was Yoda. I was just Yoda for this project. And so that's how I treated it. And I said, okay, I'm Yoda for this project, and they'll probably hire someone else for Yoda later on after this. And so the way I approached Yoda for Young Jedi Adventures was I wanted to honor Tom and I wanted to honor Frank, because I wanted to be kind of like a transition between them. I didn't want to be, because I knew that there's a fan base that obviously knows Frank Oz, but then there's also a huge respect and fan base for Tom Kane's version of Yoda. And Tom Kane's Yoda is a little different because I think when he did Clone Wars, he may have approached it more like a general. He was like a commander of an army. He was in charge of all the Clone Wars. He had to make sure that orders were heard and clear, and there was intent and action behind his words, and there was grave danger and grim reality happening all the time. And so he was very stern and hard. Yes, you must go. Attack, you must. Difficult this situation is. So he had kind of like a little staccato delivery where he was just firm, and he's like, this is what we need to do. Make sure everything happens. Whereas Frank Oz, we know Yoda from Empire and Return of the Jedi, is kind of like a goofy hermit. Difficult it is. Do or do not. There is no try. Judge me by my size, do you? And so for me, I was like, all right, he's not that old. He's Young Jedi Adventures takes place, I think it's been established that it's kind of the Old Republic, but it's much earlier than...
Like the High Republic.
Yes. You probably know more than me. You should be the one explaining this to me. Hold on. Let me get my notebook. I got to write all these notes down. And so, yeah, I basically married the two, and I said, I've got to make it a version that is respectful for both. That's how I approached it. I felt, as a fan, first and foremost, I would love to hear Tom Kane continue to do Yoda, and I was honored to carry the torch, but also going, wait, Frank Oz established this character. I want to make sure that he's recognizable there. So I blended the two, and I made it, I think I leaned a little more towards Frank, but I added some of the fun gruffness of Tom Kane there, and I hope I did a good job. You watched the show, so you're the judge, but for me, it was just an incredible experience to be able to carry the torch from Tom, and of course for Frank as well.
No, you killed it. You really, like, it was an honor to watch it, because I wasn't really sure, like, Yoda was in the Young Jedi Adventures, and I was like, who does the voice? And then your name came up, and I know you for other projects too. So I'm like, this is gonna be interesting, because it's like, how do you just get how do you just do that? Like, I was listening to you speak, and I'm like, wow, I had Yoda right in front of me, like, it's Yoda, So you absolutely knocked it out of the ballpark in Young Jedi Adventures. I hope you continue to be Yoda in other projects.
Thank you, thank you. I mean, I've done things for Star Wars, the Lego shows. So there's definitely things in the pipeline, and I know that they we had the one that just came out, I believe last year. It was Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy, where Yoda
Yes.
had an appearance. So yeah, no, it's just an incredible honor for me to hold on to the torch and carry it. And first and foremost, I am a huge fan of Star Wars and Tom Kane and the history of Frank Oz. So I always take it seriously when I do it. And I'm very, very appreciative that I get to do Yoda. And so my biggest thing is I hope that you can watch the show and go, hey, this is so fun, and not you going, gosh, yeah, this Yoda's so distracting. It doesn't sound like him at all.
No, you really killed it. You killed it.
Thank you, appreciate it. But kind of to go back, you were asking like, how do I even do Yoda? Because this is my normal speaking voice.
So it's so
and then
crazy.
How do I do all these other things? I started out doing a lot of impressions as a kid, and actually, when I was a kid, I didn't get to see. I'm not that old, so I didn't see the original Star Wars in the theaters. I'd watch it on video. But I watched the prequels in theaters, and I'd watch them multiple times, and I fell in love with Emperor Palpatine.
Oh, okay.
He was the first Star Wars guy for me, because I'm like, who is this weird guy?
This bold stalker guy that's always in like the
He's
shadows.
like, young Anakin, we must go over here. Listen to me. If you like Padme, just give her a little pat me on the head. And so I fell in love with this guy because he had such a strange laugh and all that. But then he would get dark and mysterious and evil, and he had ill intent. Young Chris, join the dark side of the Force, and you shall become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. So for me, it was I gotta.
Yeah, how do you do? Like, I'm cheesing over here. I'm trying not to like. That is so crazy.
Yeah, so I mean, I'm a fan of voices. I'm a fan of fun movies and weird actors and sounds. And so for me, I absorb it all, and I love listening to this stuff. And I go, I listen to it over and over and over and over again, just because I'm a fan like you. And for me, it's like I can't get enough. So after I'd watch the movie, we didn't have YouTube back in '99. There'd be internet, but you're on dial-up, which was really slow internet connection. And so the only way to continue the movie is either see the movie again or continue talking like the characters. So I'd walk out the theater and say, yes, wasn't that a fantastic film? I'm quite hungry. Perhaps we can get a snack. And so I'm just the biggest geek. I just love seeing characters that stand out, and I that was my childhood, just mimicking characters I love, and I'm super thankful now that I get to do it. I've applied those geeky skills and nerddom to my profession, and it's pretty insane that I get to zoom out and be like, wait a minute, I'm in Star Wars as a character that I loved watching. Like Master Yoda was somebody I never thought I would do, because he's such an icon of a character.
Yeah, and then you just doing Emperor Palpatine. We're just gonna sign you up for Emperor Palpatine next. Like,
No, I mean, he would be so fun for me. I did. I used to do a ton of YouTube videos, and I do all these parodies of Emperor Palpatine. I'd have a blanket that I'd cover over my head, and I'd answer questions that people would submit, and just be like the day in the life of Emperor Palpatine, doing silly stuff like, what would Emperor Palpatine sound like if he was, he forgot to pay his electricity bill? My goodness. Do you think I need electricity? Ah! It was just me having fun playing around, and now I get paid for it, so I'm super lucky.
Yeah, that's awesome. You're incredible. Watching you do that is incredible. And maybe you can copy me one day. Maybe you can use my voice and you can be me.
No, I can't steal you. You've got to do you. You've got to stand out there. Well, how did you? What was your first Star Wars experience?
It was I always loved so I didn't grow up with the movies. Like I was born in 99. So I really didn't watch The Phantom Menace or Attack of the Clones or Revenge of the Sith. I watched the newer movies that are out, like The Last Jedi, The Rise of Skywalker, those three movies. But I wasn't a fan of those. I liked them, but I wasn't a fan. I watched it because I'm a Star Wars fan, of course. But when the animation was coming out
Hmm.
of Clone Wars, that's how I fell in love. And I'll always tell this story because Ahsoka Tano is my all-time favorite Star Wars character. I love her. She's helped me through so many times in life. I take her everywhere I go, like Ashley does. Ashley takes Ahsoka everywhere she goes. I take her wherever she goes.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
Right.
Um, so when she started coming out, I really didn't like her. I thought she was a bratty little girl. Like I thought, was like, oh, she's on the screen again. Ah. Like I didn't like her at first. I loved Anakin. Anakin was always like my first, because I like Anakin. There was always something when you watched 1, 2, and 3. There was something off about Anakin where you didn't get the whole story because it was such a 2-hour movie and that was it. How did this kid turn to the dark side like that, like in a day? There's no backstory. There was nothing. So when you watch Clone Wars, I think it was the redemption of Anakin Skywalker because you get all his story throughout first season through season 8 or season 7 there was. So I fell in love with Ahsoka because how she betrayed herself, how she would help people. Yeah, she made mistakes. Like I think I was young, so I wasn't really paying attention to the story. And once I really rewatched Clone Wars from first season till the end, like you watch her story grow every day as we grow every day as humans. She makes mistakes. Oh well, I make mistakes. Yeah, well, she has a lightsaber. I don't have a lightsaber. Like, so how do I go from she's using the Force? How can I use the Force in my everyday life? So like I say to people, I go, I'm a Jedi. They go, Chris, no, you're not. I go, but I am. Because I can, how can I put it? I can not have attachments. I carry myself as, if it doesn't involve me, it's not about me. You know what I mean? But some people, if it doesn't involve them, they get involved anyway. Like, to me, I just stay out of it. So that's like I feel like that's a Jedi way to be. Like, just, I stay in my own lane. I don't bother anybody. I do my thing. You have a problem. Okay, we can talk about it, but it's not going to hurt me for not talking about it. But if it bothers you, I guess,
Yeah, and
So,
like George Lucas, he totally had all of Star Wars come from all these great myths and stories, and like Buddhism and Taoism and
yeah.
Joseph Campbell, the hero with the I believe the thousand faces. He built into the human condition. He knew what was there, but he also found what was inherently the most beautiful part about what a hero is and what is goodness, what is good,
Yeah. Like,
and so
and
I
I think
think
that's
it's great.
that's what, like, even there's a quote by Ahsoka, in my life, when you find people that need your help, you help them no matter what. And I live by that quote every day. I
That's
say it to
right.
myself every morning. I wake up bright and early because I like helping people. I think that's the right thing to do in this world. And there's always a lot of hate online. There's always a lot of hate, but I don't really pay attention to like the hate. You know what I mean? Like I don't, like, I read the comments, but I just don't pay attention to that. Thank you for your view. Thank you for you taking the time to watch the reel or watch the video and you just hate it. You know what I mean? But thank you. But that's the life, that's the world we live in. But it's all about positivity, like having you guys on the show, like having other voice actors, even just regular cosplayers, like I start to do now to get some cosplayers on. It's just fun. I take it as
Yeah,
it's fun.
and a lot of the fans that I get to meet and interact with, they're some of the most joyous, happy fans because Star Wars really, it connects with people on such a visceral level,
It does.
and it's such a great experience that I get to be part of this.
Yeah, like if you like I feel like when you watch like Marvel movies, DC movies, like people go, "Oh, my favorite hero, Superman," But why is it Superman? Because no one's like Man of Steel. No one's gonna throw you through a table, no, a wall, and you might not make it out. You know what I mean? So like when I say like, oh, like who is your role model in life? I go Ahsoka Tano. Yeah, she's not real. She's not a fictional character, but to me, like I feel like a Jedi is the most human you can get
Hmm.
out of like a Superman or like a DC Marvel character. You know, like I feel like a Jedi is like it's like a human being almost. You just don't have the Force or a lightsaber. Like you know what I mean? Like you don't have to have the
Yeah, yeah,
Force. You know
right.
what I
Well,
mean?
there's flaws, but there's lessons to be learned and all that.
Correct.
And it's, art is such an incredible way to teach about the human condition. And that's, I think, one of the greatest gifts George Lucas has given is to inspire so many creative people to continue telling incredible stories. And it's a fascinating world because the more you look into it, the more it's like, wow, it's so vast. There's books, there's comics, there's games, there's audio series, there's radio plays, there's even videos that they've tried to hide, all the old old specials and that sort of thing. It's a vast universe, and it's incredible.
It is. It's incredible, and I love watching Star Wars. I love watching like all animations. Really, that really like be like, wow, that's a good show. You know, that's a great show. Now, speaking of like when I was talking about Superman, you had some voices in Superman. If you can talk about that, because I know Superman is
Oh
out.
my gosh. That was just me stalling for time, trying to remember what I did. No, I was super, super lucky to be part of that. What I did was I just did some various creature voices. I don't want to give anything away, but Superman gets involved with a lot of things. So
Yes.
I don't really have a big featured role in the Superman film. I just do a lot of ancillary characters here and there, and some background stuff to help fill in the universe of the film. So I'm super lucky to be part of that, and it was super fun because I keep using the word super, but it's true. We got to work on the film in post production, so that means the film is already basically finished as far as
Okay.
filming goes, and they're going in to add the production after the fact, post production. So we're doing sound in there, and they're mixing it in, and so we get to see some finished sequences, some partially finished visual effects, and so I got to see a lot of the stuff, and the whole vibe of watching the film while working on it was really joyful. And I don't think I've had that experience really with a lot of superhero movies where I'm like, feels so inherently good. And so I actually have not seen Superman yet. I was
Oh,
just
okay.
speaking to a friend of mine who said you have to see it in IMAX. He says it's like it's a completely different experience.
Yes.
I'm not doing a commercial here, but I think it would be really fun to see on IMAX, and good for me to hear that's got such positive responses from people.
It is. It was really good. I went to go see it this last Tuesday.
Oh, nice,
Because
nice.
Tuesdays are half off, you know. So guys out there, if you guys are gonna go to the movies, go on Tuesdays. You know, you save a lot of money. You save a lot of money on tickets. You save a lot of money. It's
Yeah,
half off. I go to Cinemark. Shout out to Cinemark. They it's just
matinee. Yeah, I like going to the movies at 10 a.m.
oh wow, you wake up
I'm
early for
I,
those movies.
I'm the dork who goes in like, hey, nobody's here. This is pretty cool.
I think the first movie I seen was The Rise of Skywalker. That was
Mm.
the first ever movie I felt like I went into theaters to see. Um, and then of course like Revenge of the Sith came back in the theaters, which I didn't get to see in theaters, which I was very upset about.
Did you get to see
Um,
the re-release?
no,
Mm.
I didn't get. I saw the Phantom Menace though.
Yes. How was that?
It was good. It was really good to see it in theaters because you don't really like. I was so young. Phantom
Yeah.
Menace came out in 2003. Was it
But
3?
also after, watching Clone Wars and Rebels and all that
Yeah,
stuff, it must have been an interesting experience to go back and be like, hey, I know what's going to happen now. I can see like where the groundwork is being laid, and like he's building a universe, because he was essentially rebooting it to some degree, and he he really created something amazing. I'm talking about George Lucas, by the way.
Yes.
If anybody, hey, by the way, this is George Lucas. When I created Star Wars initially, I hope that Chris would have watched it from the beginning, but instead he started kind of from the end. So Rise of Skywalker. Get a time machine, go back to 1977. You should have seen it then.
You're hilarious. You really are. You really are. I'm geeking out because you're doing the voices so good.
I'm geeking out because I get to do these voices. I'm like, I want to talk to George Lucas. Well, I'll just bring him out.
Yeah. Now, what is the most difficult voice you can do? What is the most, like, you go, oh, damn, I couldn't get that, but then you did it, and you're like, nah, it's still not good. Like, what is the voice that you have the most trouble with?
Usually, it's more like a technical voice, so like a creature voice, or something that requires actual physical effort, where you exert yourself a little more than you normally would. So like monsters, and that can actually be difficult because you're physically, you could hurt yourself if you're not properly doing it. So those are always a challenge. I did the voice of kind of the demon's Bible for the game called Doom. They did a reboot in 2016, and I read the entire, like, you go up, you play this game, and you go around shooting all these characters, all these little demons, but in between the games, you can go and like touch these glyphs that would light up, and my voice would come on, and it was like a demon voice from the classic 70s and 80s rock albums, where it was like, on the 5th day, you and your mother will buy a cake, and that cake will melt. It wasn't any of what I just said. It was all very scary demon Bible dialogue. But that voice is really hard to sustain because it's so unnatural. So that would be difficult. But like, as far as like impressions or a character, sometimes it takes a lot of work for me to chime into the character. Some characters I just go, yeah, I can't do that voice at all, so I'm not even going to try. But one that was fun for me to chase after slowly, very slowly, was Anthony Hopkins. My mom, she's a huge fan of Anthony Hopkins, and she knew I could do voices, and she would always say, why don't you do Anthony Hopkins? And I go, I can't do Anthony Hopkins. He's too difficult. And over time, I would do other British characters, and suddenly it like came to me. Suddenly I could speak as Anthony Hopkins. I believe it was the time that I was watching Westworld, and I saw Anthony Hopkins so very relaxed, so very calm, talking about the end of human civilization and the rise of AI. And that's when I realized I too can talk like a British old man. And so, yeah, that one took a while for me to do, but it comes and goes. For me, it really is like, it's more of those gruff monster voices that are hard to do. But believe it or not, Yoda is pretty tough for me to do on the spot. I've got to warm up to it. So even before we had this call, I was doing a little Yoda just to warm up, cool. Because for me, I want it to sound as good as possible. I don't want it to be, a halfway version of Yoda. I want it to be, as good as can be. And so even before sessions, sometimes I will say specifically, I'll say, this is Yoda, but when? What era of Yoda? What are we dealing with? I'm like, okay, well, this is Empire Strikes Back version. Like, okay. Or like, yeah, we want it to sound kind of like he was talking to the younglings in Phantom Menace. Like, oh, okay. All right. Well, then we'll do that. I'll focus on this. So adjusting that, I'll listen to references of Yoda from those films. And that's what's so great about having this wealth of Star Wars, this great foundation and just deep well of content, is that I can go and reference the original all the time, and I can listen and go, oh my gosh, okay, and I can hear syllable by syllable, so that when I go in and apply that performance on my own, I have a reference and I have a point that I know that was established. And so, yeah, it takes some time for me to warm up into Yoda. And it's not necessarily impossible to do. It just, I feel like for me, I like to warm up and make sure I get to that spot that I can perform comfortably.
That's awesome. That's awesome. And then you did some Yoda, which I love, because I was gonna ask you to do some Yoda, but you already knew what time it was. You was like, I'm just gonna do it, you know. We're just
Train yourself to let go of everything. You must prepare.
Now, what is your favorite era from Yoda? Is it like the young? Because you have so many. You're well.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. No, that's
so
a
many.
good question. I'm a weird guy. I like weird stuff. So the original OG, original gangster, Yoda from the 1977 on films, I definitely enjoy because he's so kooky and weird, you know. And it's the first introduction to him. But I don't get to play that as much yet. Who knows? But I do enjoy that one, the kooky. He's, you know, because Frank Oz came from a history of working with puppets, and he's so brilliant as a puppeteer, but also as an actor. And Frank Oz takes what he does so seriously, and when he performed as Yoda, it feels like a real character. It's there, you know. You watch it and you go like, he's talking to a puppet. No one else could have made that feel so real, you know. And so for me, I love it because it's so quirky and fun, and because of the limitations of puppets, you know, Frank did dub over his own performance. So he recorded first on set with his voice, and I think he was still trying to discover what Yoda was going to be. And then after the fact, just like James Earl Jones, who dubbed over Vader's performance with his own voice, I think Frank Oz came in and he's like, okay, now I have a little more sense of what I want to achieve with Yoda. And when he dubbed over himself, he could actually accentuate things a little differently and add more subtleties, because he wasn't under a table going, Mark Hamill, can you please, you're stepping on my foot, you know. So now he's behind a microphone.
Mark Hamill, powerful you have become, taking all my sandwiches you have.
That's amazing. What you do is incredible. What you do.
Thank you very much.
Really,
have you ever done any Star Wars characters? I'm sure you're such a huge fan. Do you ever
I
run
am.
around the house and quote them
really,
or change your voice at all?
I try, but it's like so weird because you can't even with Ahsoka, like I do the quote and I'm like, I don't even sound like her. I don't know how she would sound. And when you meet Ashley, I met Ashley numerous of times because I love her so much. It's like, how does she even do the voice? Because she talks just like a normal voice, but then she puts a little Ahsoka on it. I'm like,
yeah,
how do you do that? Like, how do you go from like, even with Anakin, like Matt Lancer, like when you hear Matt Lancer talk, it's Anakin, like it is with even James Arnold Taylor, who plays Obi-Wan. Like even when he talks, there's Obi-Wan in his voice. He just switches it to like the Obi-Wan. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, it all comes from acting above all. I think what makes those characters also stand out is those are all brilliant actors, and I think their approach is acting first and foremost, and then the voice comes. But it's really about understanding the characters, what you're trying to portray, where in this moment are the characters going, the story that you want to tell, and it's emotion above all. So, reciting just the lines or characters from the movie is a little hard to figure out, how do I sound like that? So sometimes you really have to put your head into the emotional state that they're in, So if Emperor Palpatine is there and he wants to, he wants to turn Luke over to the dark side, you're not going to go,
Luke, turn to the dark side. Yes, my young apprentice.
You think, okay, this is a guy who's been fighting for so long. He has all this power, right? He has everything he needs. He is almost nothing to worry about because he's already won. And now this new opportunity shows up. This Luke, another token for him to play with. So he's a little relaxed, and yes, he's very happy because he needs nothing to worry about. Everything is going according to plan. And if he dies, he dies, as does all his friends.
That's crazy. Just like what he did with Ezra. Like, he brought Ezra in Rebels, like, showed him, like, just go to your family. And if he went to his family, he would have went to Palpatine's side. That's what Palpatine wanted. But Ezra was too smart to be like, no, I'm leaving. And the rest is history with Ezra Bridger, you know?
Yeah.
But that's incredible that you can do that. Like, I just can hear you. I should just hear you talk for 45 minutes, to an hour, and just saying what you can come up with in 45 minutes.
Well, yeah, I mean, it's what I do, and I just love doing it. So I thank you for letting me blabber on all on here. This is just fun for me, just to keep talking.
I'm so happy you're
my
here.
partner, she's like, "Can you keep it down? I'm trying to sleep," and I just go, "The dark side will help you sleep," and she doesn't like that.
I would laugh, but I think, like, when you guys have, like, spouses and stuff like that, and then you actually probably do the voices to them, like, if they bother you, or like they're like, if you have kids, like, you do it to your kids.
Yeah, it gets to a point where she's just like, "Yeah, I get it. You're real talented." She's like, "Can you take out the garbage, please?" Like, all right. But the dark side of this trash can is really stinky. Why don't you take out the garbage? The only voice I think that my partner was surprised by, that I recall, was me doing Leonard Nimoy from Star Trek. So doing Spock. And she was like, "How do you do that?"
Spock, of course, he is a competitor to Star Wars, the different side of the fan coin, so to speak. Logical, not irrational, and non-emotional. Almost, one could say, like a Jedi.
That's crazy.
Have you seen any Star Trek stuff? That's a whole
No,
other universe. Oh, it's too much. It's too much.
Yeah, that's the other star. That's in the other star realm. The galaxy.
I took a while to get into Star Trek, because I was a Star Wars guy for a while, because I was like, Star Wars is more exciting. And then I watched TNG, which was The Next Generation with Patrick Stewart. And I watched that, and just like you're saying, with Ahsoka having incredible life lessons and all this, these great intentions and good-heartedness, Star Trek had that in spades. The Next Generation really leaned into the idea of, like, how can we better humanity?
Yeah.
And I think that's such a great thing to have, and we're so lucky that we're in this age that we get to enjoy all these incredible content, from Star Trek to Star Wars and superheroes and stuff. And yeah, it's crazy.
It is, and there's so much more to come.
Oh yes.
Yeah. So my next question to you is, what is your top 3? You can pick 3 Star Wars characters, and why?
My top 3 Star Wars characters, and why? Oh my God, there's so many. Don't put a timer on, because I'm okay. Well, of course, number 1, Yoda.
Yeah, yeah.
I can't say anything else. Wait, I look at this. I even have a toy right here.
Oh, that's awesome! I have that one too.
Yes, he's in the box. He's got
powerful I am, even contained in a box.
They need to come out with Funko Pops for the Young Jedi Adventures. I would love it.
That would be a whole other thing. Yeah.
A Nubs Funko Pop.
The cutesy version. Do they not have it in Nubs Funko? I think
no, not yet.
They have kind of like the little squishy toy, but that's hard to sign on.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, for sure. Yoda is my favorite, and I'm actually a huge fan of K2SO. I love Alan Tudyk. When Rogue One came out, he's so funny, because it's like, for me, I'm like, I admire it so much as an actor, because I'm like, wow, he's making this character so funny Sorry, C3PO. C3PO is really funny as well. But Alan Tudyk, I think, takes it to another level.
I
Like
like. Have you watched?
making a droid super funny.
Did you watch? Have you watched his show Resident Alien?
I have, yes.
It's
He's
really
super
good.
funny
It's
on that.
hilarious.
Yeah.
It's hilarious.
Alan Tudyk is probably one of the best comedic performers now, and actor all around. He's just fabulous. So Yoda, K2SO, and then the third one. This is like choosing who's gonna survive when the ship is sinking. I don't know. Oh, okay. I'm spinning through the Rolodex. Darth Vader's pretty good. Emperor Palpatine's pretty okay. I'll Emperor Palpatine. I think because I talked like him for so long as a kid, and he actually informed a lot of my characters.
Oh wow!
Because when I would get auditions for things, they would go, "We need an evil villain here," and I go, "Well, I can't be Emperor Palpatine. I'm never going to get hired as Emperor Palpatine." And they're like, "We're looking for a Scottish evil villain goblin." And I go, "Well, Scotland's got a little bit of that. But if I get that graveliness that I love from Emperor Palpatine, and now I drag it out a little bit, and he's got a little more snarl because he's a bit of a goblin. Suddenly there, we've got a new character that was based off of Emperor Palpatine." And I realized over time, because I mimicked Emperor Palpatine way too much, I started laughing like him, and that's when I knew I should stop impersonating it. Because I'd go to school, and the kids would be laughing and up like, "Oh yeah," and I go, like, "Can you put your arms down? You look like a T-Rex." "Oh right." Like, why are you laughing like an old Santa Claus, an evil Santa Claus? So yeah, I would say Yoda, K2SO, and Palpatine. But gosh, it's so hard to choose. There's so many, and for me, it really comes from just that nostalgic kick. Like those are the characters that really boom. They feel so fun to do, and I just love it. There's so many, and Star Wars always surprises you because there's so many incredible guest stars that come on these shows and give incredible performances. Bobby Moynihan. Just so hilarious as Jedi Bob, just so good, and that was in the Lego Star Wars Rebuild the Galaxy. He's just
because they have a new one coming out.
I think they must be working on so many because Lego. Everybody loves Lego. Yeah.
And Ahsoka's in this one coming up, I think.
See, you know more than me. I'm so busy doing the voices, I don't have time to even look up what's going on. So you definitely know more than me.
So my last question, because I know we're on a little time skid here for you.
Sure.
You got to come back on the show. You have to come back.
Okay. Well, next time I'll be fully dressed as Emperor Palpatine.
Yes. Do you be like Kermit too? Like put the thing over and just. Come Hobbit,
I will only be referred to as Yoda or Palpatine or Palpa Yoda. Maybe I'll mash them together. That's the sequel of this episode. We'll do Palpa Yoda. You'll have to remind me. What would he sound like?
What would he sound like? So anybody that's listening out there, they want to be a voice actor. What piece of advice, that one advice, could you give that young voice actor that's upcoming and ready to get on the scene? What advice would you give them?
Do it. Do or do not. There is no try.
Just do it. If there's something you love, even if it's not acting or voice acting, just do it. I know it's hard to hear sometimes because everybody comes from different backgrounds. Everybody has different situations. But if there's something you love, find the time to do it. Just go and do it with joy. Do it with joy. Never feel that the weight of the world should be holding you down or that you should have anxiety while you're doing it. If it's something you love to do, whatever it is, just pursue it. And you will attract like-minded people. You will attract opportunities. You will attract things simply by doing it. There's no magic that happens. It's not the universe aligning or the stars happening to float above your head at a certain point and boom, it happens. No, the sheer act of doing it, even if it's low level, even if it's nothing, even if nobody's watching you. You can make videos on TikTok. You can make videos on YouTube. You can record just your voice into your phone and never share it with anybody, but you're doing it. You're doing something, right? So just the act of doing it over and over again for the pure fun of it. That's what it should be. It's passion. Do something you love to do. So if you don't love to do it, if you're doing it just because, I don't know, social pressure, someone say, you should be an actor because you're handsome, or you should be an actor because you're really good at kicking your knees really high. I don't know. Do it only because you want to do it, But the advice I would give as far as being great at it is take your time, study, learn from as many teachers as possible. There are a lot of masters out there, Jedi masters of acting, and never stop learning. I'm still learning all the time. I watch videos of old teachers, new teachers, old movies, new movies. Friends of mine will teach me something. I'm learning something all the time, and that's one of the joys about being in the creative field is you're constantly getting new skills. So go after what you love and do it with love, and don't put pressure on yourself to be successful. The success comes from doing it and loving what you do, and people will respond to that. And I speak only from my experience because I've been fortunate to get a great response from just sharing what I love to do, and I get to be here and do it and get responses from people like you, Chris. So I appreciate you and your time.
I'm gonna miss you, man.
Oh, don't worry, I'm here.
But before we go, where are you going to be next? I know you're heading to San Diego Comic-Con.
Yeah, when's this episode air? Where do you usually I want to make sure the dates are aligned.
Probably before next weekend, because next weekend's is it San Diego Comic-Con?
Yes, if it comes out, if this episode comes out that the week of the Comic-Con, I will be there in San Diego, Thursday through Saturday. I actually have a panel, and I'm doing a signing, which is interesting because we're doing a signing before our panel. So Candy Milo's going to be there.
She's so good. Coco, I love Coco.
Yes, Eric Bauza, Caitlin Robruck, and Charlie Schlatter will also be there, and hosted by FM DeMarco, who's got a great podcast called the Tuesday Morning Screening Room podcast that I do a lot of episodes on, and he's moderating that. And so, Thursday afternoon, evening, I'm doing some signings and that. So, if you check out my website, piotrmichael.com, that'll connect you to all my social media stuff, and then you can find all the info I'm sharing about the details and stuff. But I'm doing Comic-Con, and other projects are in the works. I've got to bite my tongue. I can't reveal all the secrets of the galaxy, but there are definitely stuff happening. So stay tuned, and I will be sharing those. So you will hear me soon.
I can't wait. I will put all the links in the bios to follow. Let's say it together. Let's say your name at the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Piotr.
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 Yes. It's going to take me a while. I'm like,
hey, it's okay. This is your first podcast with me. By our 12th podcast, I think you might be able to get it right.
Yeah.
No, don't worry about it. It's a difficult name, but it's like Piotr. The TR has a slight trill. Piotr. But if you say it quick enough, I'm not going to get too angry.
Thank you so much, Piotr Michael, for coming on the School of Extra shows and talking Star Wars and just voice acting in general.
My pleasure.
You are, to me, you're gonna go down in Star Wars history as a legend, because you can do so much with Master Yoda, and I hope to see you in any other animation form, maybe live action, of voices in Star Wars, and of course animation of Yoda.
I'm happy to wear green paint if they need me. Don't worry. I'll do it.
Just put the ears on and everything.
There you go. something's odd with Yoda in this episode. What's
So,
going
but
on?
he looks great. I think it's Piotr. I think I know him. But we'll catch you on the Young Jedi Adventures with Nubs. You know, we're gonna Nubs and Master Yoda. I want to announce that I do have a special custom print getting made for Piotr of Master Yoda and Nubs, because those are my two favorite characters in the Young Jedi Adventures. That is streaming now on Disney Plus and Disney Junior, right? Disney Junior, I think it's, or Disney Channel Junior, something like that. Something Disney with the Junior. You guys can just go check that out. But I will put all his links in the bio so you can go follow him. He will be at San Diego Comic-Con, like he just said, and maybe New York this year. I hope New York, Piotr. I hope New York. So
Yeah,
can
I
come
will
meet you.
definitely let you know. Yes, if that happens, I will let you know.
Yes, let me know. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you. And now I'm gonna let you say anything you want in the Master Yoda voice, if you could, as a goodbye. I'll end it like this: be kind to one another, and may the Force be with you. After you go it, so you do yours, and then I'll end it with mine.
Always pass on what you have learned.
I love that. I think I'm just gonna take this recording and just put it as I sleep tonight and hear Emperor Palpatine and just Master Yoda. That's amazing. But thank you guys for joining this Scevoli Expert show. Be kind to one another, and may the Force be with you, my friends. Always. Bye.